Anyway, I'm here today and I'm alive and ready to go. I've got one article that I'm going to share with you today because I think it's germane to the times that we're living in right now. I've actually posted two articles on my Facebook page. You see it right underneath my hand here, facebook.com/Pastor Mike Online. There is one there it'll make you angry when you go see it. This one here is scary. It is indicative of the times that we're living in right now. And folks, I don't know how to say it any more plainly than this. If you consider what's going on in this world as far as political change, technological change, scientific discoveries, scientific advancements in biotechnology, the joining together, the fusing together of man and machine. Jeff Bezos, the owner of Amazon.com, presented himself, I think, over the weekend inside this great big monstrosity, giant machine. He's inside this pod of this great big giant robot. As he is moving his arms around, the robot is moving its arms around, and it signals to those who are watching a further advancement in the joining together of man and beast. And when I say beast, I'm referring to machine beast. The joining together of man and technology together. That, folks, is coming. It is coming. It will happen. If you live another 20 or 30 years, it will happen in your lifetime. It may happen sooner than that. There may be a discovery of some kind that gives us a quantum leap forward years ahead of whatever schedule people are on. There may just be something like that. And I believe, according to the Bible, Ephesians chapter 2, the prince of the power of the air is the spirit that is working in the children of disobedience. Spirits, obviously, having greater knowledge than you and I. Ezekiel chapter 28 tells us that Satan is wiser than Daniel. He has a knowledge that is far advanced, I believe, of human beings. And Satan is illuminating people into the advancement of scientific discoveries, biological discoveries, genetic breakthroughs, how to alter the DNA of both man and beast. Here is this article. Was seen on Drudge Report this morning. Actually, it comes from newscientist.com. The article says backyard gene editing risks creating a monster. Now I want you to think about that term, backyard gene editing. Something that, a term or a phrase that was never used 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, and even beyond that. I mean, there's been backyard mechanics, backyard experimentations, backyard chemists, methamphetamine chemists. There's been things like that, but who would have ever thought that we would live in a time where people literally in a home laboratory would be able to edit the DNA, the genetics, the genetic traits of any kind of living creature whatsoever, that somebody would be able to do this in their garage, or as they say in England, their garage. The gene editing, here's the article from New Scientist. The gene editing revolution continues to gather pace, but it is also throwing us curveballs. One is an unexpected technical hitch. Another concerns oversight and ownership. Who gets to use it and for what is a big battle. going on over who actually owns the process of CRISPR gene editing. And the reason why it's such a big battle is you're talking about billions, if not trillions of dollars worth of rights, licensing rights in order to do this. In January, David Ishii, a dog breeder from Mississippi, told the U.S. Food and Drug Administration that he planned to use CRISPR gene editing to fix a mutation that makes Dalmatians prone to kidney disease. The FDA responded by telling Ishii that he could experiment but not sell or even give away his modified dogs. The law was, and asked the question, who's going to stop him? Who would stop him? The law was recently amended so that gene-edited animals require approval before they can be sold. But the FDA also said it would reconsider if presented with evidence that certain types of gene editing pose quote-unquote minimal risk. Who defines minimal risk? Who defines that? What scientist, what board of judges, what criteria book is there out there that would actually have a definition for what a minimal risk is? Because we're talking about technology that we don't even have laws to govern it. We're talking about advances that are coming so fast that there is no regulation on the books. Nobody envisioned 20 years ago that somebody besides some humongous multinational corporation would ever have the ability to alter the genetics of any plant, flower, animal, or human. But the technology, the CRISPR technology, is so easily done and so relatively inexpensive. Anybody can go out and get a second mortgage on their home if they know a little bit about what they're doing and have the funds available to alter the genetics of anything they get their hands on. It's like kids in the backyard chasing down poor butterflies. People can do this now. And I've posed this question before. What stops China from altering the genetics of any creature on the earth, including humans? What stops Middle Eastern nations with loads of money willing to spend it on terrorist acts against Israel or against Christian America? What is to stop North Korea from using CRISPR technology to launch, instead of a nuclear bomb, or as some say, nuclear, to stop North Korea from launching, instead of launching a nuclear bomb, releasing some sort of modified virus that is programmed to target and kill only certain people of certain racial groups. Anybody besides North Koreans and Chinese. What's to stop North Korea? There's nothing to stop them from doing this. The cat is out of the bag. Pandora's box has been opened, and now that it's been opened, you cannot, the water has been spilled from the water pitcher, and you cannot put that water back in. At first glance, that seems an amazingly laissez-faire, pardon my French, attitude towards a technology that the U.S. Director of National Intelligence last year flagged as a threat to national security, and rightly so. Any tinkering with genes raises the specter of bioterrorism. In reality, and you got to hear how this article ends. Get ready. Because I got my finger here, ready to hit the dun-dun-dun button. Okay, let me practice once. Yeah. Get ready. In reality, the FDA is walking a fine line, trying to keep abreast of a fast-moving field without stifling innovation. It cannot allow the biohacker tail to wag the CRISPR dog. You know, that's the old adage of, instead of the dog wagging the tail is wagging the dog. But the problem requires a more sophisticated response than retrofitting old laws to new problems. Most biohackers are motivated by curiosity or altruism. That word means that someone is trying to edit the genetics of some creature in order to greatly benefit mankind and then receive no recompense for it whatsoever. Most biohackers are motivated by curiosity or altruism. I would say more than likely most biohackers are those who hack into the genetic structure of some creature and change it, edit it, take things out, put things in. I think they're mainly motivated by curiosity. What if I do this? What if I change this? It's kind of like Bob Ross, the afro frizzy-headed painter instructor on public television. Ooh, let's add. I wonder what it would look like if we added a little bit of yellow ochre. Yes, the yellow ochre works fine there. Maybe a little alizarin crimson. Maybe, and you're the creator. You can make this whatever you want to. You know, Bob Ross, right? What would Bob Ross do with gene editing? But clearly this is not enough of a safeguard. Quite apart from the prospect of bad actors, U.S. intelligence has also warned of what's called unintentional misuse. In other words, somebody's going to edit something in some plant, some animal, and then realize, I shouldn't have done that. Oh, that was bad. Oh my goodness. We can't let that out. Oh, there it goes. Unintentional misuse. Mistakes are going to be made even by the best and most qualified of biohackers. Biohacking companies that have multiple safeguards. They've got an underground bunker 13 levels deep. I picked that number for a reason. 13 levels deep, so that in case they hacked the genetics of some creature and it goes bad, you know, you've seen the movies, right? Then the creature won't be able to get out and harm, you know, be a menace to society. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. Because we're dealing with technology that no matter how well it's regulated, because it's so easy to do, there is always going to be somebody out there that's going to do it. Forget about the legislation, forget about the rules and the regulations against what they're doing. They're going to do it. It's sort of like speed limit signs. Speed limit signs do not keep people from breaking the law. They just warn you that if you break the law, if you go faster than what this sign says, you are at risk for getting a ticket. Now, let's all be honest here. I have, you have, we all have broken the speed limit. We've done it probably. If you've driven a car this week, you probably did it this week. Unintentional as it were, you still did it. The speed limit sign did not keep you from breaking a speed limit. You just broke the speed limit. Same thing here. They can regulate this and have regulations shooting out of people's noses. And somebody's going to go, oops, shouldn't have done that. Or I wonder if I put like a human face on this mouse. What's to stop somebody? What is there to stop somebody from doing this? Let me read this last paragraph here. Get ready. The risk can't be contained by restricting uses of CRISPR. See? This article is almost assuring you that this is going to go bad. It's just a matter of time, people. Just as nobody can stop people making bombs out of fertilizer. But the technical simplicity that makes CRISPR such an exciting technology, see, I don't think it is. And maybe that's because I believe the Bible. Having a little technical glitch there in the software. Here we go. It's going to be one of those days, isn't it? You know, you've had one of those days. This is going to be one of those days. Because get ready for what I'm going to talk about, all right? The article says the technical simplicity that makes CRISPR such an exciting technology, and again, I do not agree. When God plainly tells us in his word that he wrote the book of man's DNA, he plainly says it in Psalm 139, word for word, there it is. In thy book, all my members were written, which in continuance were fashioned. Here's our DNA model here. Continuance were fashioned when as yet there was none of them. Everything here was written by God. He owns the copyright to it. And God said it. He said it in Deuteronomy. He said it in Revelation. Thou shalt not add to the words that are in this book. He also says you should not, he says in Deuteronomy, you should not diminish aught from it, which basically means don't reduce it, don't take anything out of it. And then he says it more plainly in Revelation. If any man shall take away from the words that are in the prophecy of this book, I will take away his name out of the book of life. Period. You're dead now for doing this. The end of the article says, the technical simplicity that makes CRISPR such an exciting technology also risks, get ready for the finger on the button here, also risks creating an unruly beast. And the truth is, people, there is zero way to stop this. What does this have to do with Bible prophecy? I think it has everything to do with it. I think God telling us not to mingle things in our DNA. And then what do we have? We have the fourth kingdom in Daniel chapter 2 doing exactly that. They are mingling themselves with the seed of men. And man is going to willingly go along with this. Man and the people that I talk to, we are all in agreement on this thing. I don't see anyone at gunpoint being forced to have a mark put in their right hand or in their forehead. I don't see it. I don't see it in the Bible. I think people are, in fact, let's read this Bible. Can we? 2 Thessalonians 2. You can look at Revelation 13, that the false prophet causes everyone to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. The cause is being generated right now. People are going to want this. They're going to want it to cure their diseases. They're going to want it to give them, they're going to want it to postpone hell. If not, eliminate any possibility that they'll even go to hell. That's what people want. They want to bypass hell. They want to bypass the consequences of their own actions. When you look at Genesis 3, that's exactly the bill of goods that the serpent sold to Eve. Because she was told by Adam, we cannot eat of this tree. If we do, we shall surely die. Now, she added to the words that she received. She said, neither can we touch it, lest we die. She added that. Adam did not tell her that. God did not tell that to Adam. She added. She is the wicked nature. See, the wicked nature of man was already present there. She added to the words of God. And then the serpent just stepped in and said, oh, ye shall not surely die. You won't die. Not surely. And Eve said, stop calling me Shirley. Then he says, oh, God doth know that in the day that ye eat thereof, then your eyes will be open, and ye shall be as gods, knowing. You see, we're talking about technology now that is going to give mankind the possibility that, number one, he'll not surely die. Number two, it will advance him to such a high altered state that it will become literally a god, and that he'll have this supreme knowledge. Think about it. Think about if your brain was connected to the World Wide Web right now. And I don't mean through you holding your phone or you looking in your tablet. I mean literally close your eyes and tell your brain to access the World Wide Web and then view or participate in any of the web's content. Just like that. You have instant access. I looked up the word altruism before the program today. I didn't know what that meant. I kind of had an idea, but I wanted to be sure. So I didn't have to get up and stroll over to a huge book library where I found a dictionary and opened up the dictionary to the right page where the word altruism would be there in alphabetical order. I mean, we're teaching kids alphabetical order now, and 10, 20 years from now, that teaching could be obsolete. They wouldn't have to know how to read a dictionary. They'd just have to think web. And the World Wide Web then delivers them the information directly downloaded to their brain. I'm not making this up. This is where we are. This is the technology that we're marching toward right now. And the thing that the serpent sold to Eve, those things are coming to pass in our lifetime, people. Imagine it. We are that generation. We are. 2 Thessalonians 2, here is a sign that mankind is going to willingly receive the mark, willingly participate in his own transformation, not at gunpoint, not being forced to, not having men in black come to their house, drag them out to a government van, take them off to Area 51 somewhere, give them some kind of tattoo or microchip embedded in them, and then all of a sudden they are slaves of the Illuminati. People are going to choose this. 2 Thessalonians 2, verse 9, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth that they might be saved. Which basically means they didn't want the Bible. They didn't want to read the Bible. They didn't want anything from the Bible affecting their life. They hated the Bible. They received not the love of the truth. Jesus said, thy word is truth. Present tense is, right now, truth. that they don't receive the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And so God says in verse 11, for this cause. See the word cause there? The false prophet causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, 6 groups. For this cause, God shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie, that they all might be damned who believed not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. See, the mark of the beast, the man of sin, the son of perdition. I mean, it basically says, oh, you want to be an adulterer? Well, we don't care. We don't care. We're not judging anybody. We'll give you this mark, and then you can be all the adulterer that you want to be. You want to be transgendered? Why? We'll give you that. The beast is androgynous anyway. He is opposites. He is not and yet is. So you can be whatever you want to be. You can keep all your sins and still be accepted in our new religion. And people are going to go, yeah, why not? And that's what they're going to go for. The deceivableness of unrighteousness. Sin lies to people, and people believe the lies. They would rather believe the lies than believe the truth because they get to keep their sin.